Understood.
But he thinks that we are going to that direction.
Right. You're starting to work towards a more complete role of
Yes,
Jazan,
and we are.
and with that will come more economic
Yes, the problem is
support.
Yes, and we are reformulating here in the seminary what we want from Jazan, and we are going to that one. The Jazan, it's not only singer, it's more rabbinical assistant, perhaps, with a good voice, with the special skills.
y en el momento, ahora por ejemplo, a ver, esto traducí, hay momentos que se busca, que hay audiciones en busca de Jazanim en diferentes puestos, positions, y lo que menos buscan es alguien que sepa Nusach porque las dirigencias no están formadas judaicamente tampoco.
La tradición.
Claro. Entonces si es alguien que afina un poco, lo contratan. Porque tampoco hay presupuesto para otra cosa.
No, and they don't know about Nusach.
No,
The problem is,
¿cómo se dice?
Nusach y otras cosas más, ¿no?
We were talking with Federico. Where is Federico? Here.
Sí.
We were talking with.
Está filmando.
Yes, thank you.
Hi.
We were talking with Federico.
Hi.
He's now in my last position where I was, in the temple where I was. Anyone thought that he is a tenor and I'm a baritone? And no one thought about that. And it's very difficult for him to match now with all people there. Why? Because he's a tenor and I'm a baritone for the last 13 years. That's difficult. And no one thought about that. No one knows about Nusach. So no one asked him, what Nusach do you make for
No,
whatever?
prefieren que se cante todo el año lo mismo porque la gente lo sabe. En vez del il módulo lamed, hacerlo bien y enseñarle al cal.
Lo que decíamos era que Fede está ahora en la posición donde yo estaba antes, el año pasado.
Sí, lo dije.
Y que en realidad no, a él nadie le preguntaba y se dio cuenta, nadie
El
dijo que él era
registro
un
de la
tenor y yo era un barítono, y que a la gente, y a él mismo, y a la gente que trabaja le iba a ser un problema eso. No, lo que querían, buscaron más o menos lo que necesitaban, y obviamente
la misma guita.
nadie, no, alguien que esté comprometido también con el colegio, buscaron skills diferentes también, para cubrir otras necesidades que querían y que por ahí yo no estaba cubriendo. Pero verdaderamente lo que buscaban, y por supuesto que a nadie se le ocurrió preguntarle si los nusajim de él eran los míos, o si cambiaba totalmente el nusaj de la comunidad a partir de que él entraba. It's something
Es
It's
work.
attention. It's
Yes,
attention.
yes.
Mis alumnos, muchas veces cuando yo empiezo a enseñarme, me dicen, estás loco, ¿no? Porque no se usa acá no. Es difícil, porque es mucho más lindo y más fácil, es mucho más lindo. Es nice, but
No, I know. It's what they
it's not easy.
It's easier, and it's what they were singing for the last 20 years.
Pero cuando viajan, se dan cuenta que es importante.
That's the main. That's the main issue why the cantors, the Latin cantors here in Latin America, goes to the U.S. looking for jobs.
Y por eso que la
need
mayoría de
more
los que
money.
quieren ir a Estados
We
Unidos
need
porque
more,
necesitan más plata.
better positions and better.
But perhaps it's our responsibility. It's our responsibility. If we know all this, but we have to know both Karlebach, Friedman, and Nusach, both, and slowly make the change to return to the Nusach. That's our responsibility to teach what you are saying. Teach the community too.
Así se perdió el Yiddish.
This is how Yiddish got lost here in Latin America.
Al no enseñarse en los en las escuelas.
When I was a little boy, I went to the school to learn Yiddish.
Wow.
But Well,
Voy a contar otro
Many
más.
years.
in those times they were changing in the school from Yiddish into Hebrew.
Yeah.
So when I finished the primary school, in quite all the schools in Buenos Aires, they started with the Hebrew. And the Yiddish, leat, disappeared.
When I was
From the
raised,
schools.
I was raised in a German
I'm not
congregation,
old.
and the cantor was the Herr Cantor.
Okay.
And he used the
my
like
father.
your grandfather, and he was Cantor Bloom, and everybody, he was like an opera, like Mizrahi, he was an opera singer, and he was the cantor. And these were two completely divisions between the rabbi and the Herr Cantor.
Obercanto es el primer cantor.
There was he was the only one there. He was the only one.
I understand the practicality
La practicidad.
of what one needs to do to attain a position here.
Él entiende la practicidad que uno tiene que tener acá para mantener su
But for those who might be considering membership to the Cantors Assembly or having a job, maybe in the States,
aquellos que consideren hacerse socios de o pertenecer a la Cantors Assembly o ir a buscar un puesto en los Estados Unidos,
the things that I'm sharing with you are mucho
muy importantes. Yes?
Right.
Yes.
Very,
Muy
very
interesante.
important. So far as to, forget that, in rabbinic texts,
En los textos rabínicos,
in the Talmud, in other codes, I can't remember, there are rabbinic sources that say how important nusach is.
hay fuentes rabínicas que dicen lo importante que el nusach es.
And I should send you this article.
Y les va a mandar, él debería mandarles este artículo.
To show to the Rabbanim, it's not us who are Meshugav Davar about
Que
this,
no son, que para mostrarle a los rabínicos que no son ustedes los que quieren hacerlo,
but the rabbis themselves have said.
pero los rabinos también dijeron,
There's one statement somewhere that says,
alguien dijo alguna vez,
don't change the nusach, I mean the melody, don't
no
change the
cambien el
nusach
nusach
of, let's say, Kol Nidre,
de Kol Nidrei,
or the congregation will go Meshugav.
o la congregación se va a volver loca.
Right? Kol Nidre. Yes, right.
What is it?
Meshugav, right. Kol Nidre. Like Beethoven, right? It's in Beethoven, C sharp, whatever, you would know better than me. Everybody, that's Misinai, right? We in school when we learn Nusach, some melodies we say are Misinai. From Sinai.
Que viene de allá,
son
que
sinaíticos. Sí.
que no tiene
Algunas melodías son sinaíticas, o sea que no...
es una forma de decir para que no hay una smachta,
Claro.
Right. When Moshe came with the
Cuando Moshe vino
Levot,
con las tablas,
he came down with these melodies.
él ya vino con esas
Original.
melodías.
Right, originals. We know somewhere in Germany in the Rhineland in the
En
1880s,
Alemania, en el 1880.
but they're
más o
so
menos.
cemented, they seem everybody, right? Kol Nidre, maybe Shema Yisrael.
Claro.
Or the way you sing it
But,
here.
de la manera de
No, just in Mechaim. No,
This
in
morning
all
they
the
did it
shows.
a little bit too.
I mean,
And we know the things.
Darío.
Darío.
He wrote everything.
Right.
That's
¿Cómo le
very
explicas que
important.
ningún
Right.
jardín
But
Ah,
even
sí,
in
exacto,
Nusach,
excelente entendimiento.
Yesod Chachamim Unevonim almost every Ashkenazi Chazan davens like that, except Meir Finkelstein.
Con la expresión de Werner Finkelstein. Why?
He's just more creative. He sings his
own
music.
music. Werner Finkelstein canta su propia
Amazing.
música.
So there are certain things, Misinai, that we don't change, and the Rabbanim have said so. They say that those people who sing the Shema with the right ta'amim, the right
Y
to
aquellas personas que cantan el Shema con la correcta puntuación,
earn a place in Olam Haba.
ganan un lugar en el Olam Haba.
¿Y cómo es?
Menor.
How is it?
How is
How
it?
you can sing the Shema?
But with kavanah, with learning, from it's midoraita, right? It's from the Torah, and to do it with the right kavanah,
Con hacerlo con la cabana que realmente corresponde,
it just shows the importance that the Rabbanim put on the proper nuskaot.
Muestra la importancia que el propio rabbi pone sobre la nusa.
Nuskot.
Okay. So, in America, I would say though in Israel and in London, the Orthodox don't have chazanim anymore.
Los ortodoxos en Estados Unidos, Israel y en Londres no tienen chazanim.
Very few, maybe Hechal Shlomo in Yerushalayim.
Posiblemente Shalom en Jerusalén.
Right.
Why?
Right. You've got health docs. You know, you've got some big, because they
Everybody knows.
right. I think their opinion is
La opinión de ellos es,
right. And why spend the money?
¿para qué
Maybe
gastar la plata?
is part of it.
Anyone can sing.
Yeah. So they bring out, you know, and the reform is a very strong
Y el movimiento reformista
cantorial.
Yes.
tiene,
place.
es muy fuerte la función del Hazan.
And they have a lot of money.
And the reform have a lot of
Y
money.
tiene mucha plata.
And they rely a great deal on music. On,
Ponen mucho en la
Instrument.
música,
Instruments.
en los instrumentos.
right? The conservative movement goes from here to here. No instruments, all instruments.
El movimiento conservador es de una punta a la otra, o ninguno o mucho.
The Masortí, or the conservative movement in the States,
El movimiento Masortí
are very much like here. They're
Son como
egalitarian, men and women, biachad, right? Women have a liot, women come minyan, women wear talit, tefillin. It's wonderful. But with the change,
Con los cambios,
have come other changes. Keruv is a big issue in America. Keruv, outreach into the intermarried families.
el llegar a los matrimonios mixtos es muy importante en los Estados Unidos,
And that's because many of those families were going to the reform.
porque la mayoría de esas familias se fueron al movimiento reformista.
So for our survival,
Para poder
we
sobrevivir,
became more welcome.
o sea, nosotros los
Más activos.
Los recibimos más.
The non-Jew is not, he or she do not come to the Torah,
el no judío obviamente no sube a la
but the
Torah,
families are
pero las
very
familias están
welcome.
juntas.
Now, if you have a kihila of Jewish, non-Jewish people,
Tienen, por ejemplo, una Keilah, Kahala, que con gente judía y no judía,
not everything can be in Hebrew.
no todo puede ser en hebreo.
So now we hear more English
Ahora escuchan en las ceremonias más en
into
inglés,
conservative synagogue service.
en las ceremonias del movimiento conservador.
As much as I heard all this singing, it wasn't in Spanish. It was in Hebrew.
Yes.
In America, it's in Hebrew, but a lot of English. There's
Mucha de la
Also sing in English or
They do sing.
not only reading?
yeah. Debbie Friedman. May those in need of healing have refuah shalema, a renewal of their body, a renewal of their spirit, and
DJ,
let us
they also
say,
pray like that.
Amen.
No
So,
find total en Hebrew, no encontrás en hebreo completamente.
DJ
En
also.
ningún lugar del
Yeah,
mundo
oh, yeah.
está eso del inglés.
so the changes in the conservative movement in America with egalitarianism and musical instruments that have come into the
Los
synagogue,
cambios en el movimiento conservador en Estados Unidos a través del egalitarian y los instrumentos musicales,
and Keruv and this outreach.
llegar a estos matrimonios mixtos, a
That's okay.
familias.
Keruf, de Karov, eso es lo que
Sí,
está diciendo,
pero-
de acercarse.
It's like Korban.
Por eso
Korban,
dije,
Nahum,
cuando
Karov.
Korban,
cambió-
the sacrifice,
Nahum.
brings you
Yeah. Yeah.
closer to God. Those are some of the changes that you will hear about or experience should you come into the States.
Esos son los cambios que ustedes van a ver cuando vengan a los Estados Unidos.
In some synagogues, they don't play music on Shabbat.
Algunas sinagogas no ejecutan música en Shabbat,
Some synagogues will play music Friday night, but just Kabbalat Shabbat.
solamente algunas el Kabbalat Shabbat el viernes a la
Mariv,
noche,
Mariv and
Mariv
Shabbat.
no.